The human starship Endeavour glided silently through the vast emptiness of space. Its sleek metal body shimmered faintly under distant stars. Captain Arya Collins stood at the command deck's wide window, eyes fixed on the endless darkness ahead. She felt a mix of excitement and unease. This was no ordinary mission. They were heading toward the planet Zorath, home to an alien species unknown to Earth. The crew had only heard rumors about these beings, but one thing stood out clearly: they never slept. The idea that a whole race could stay awake forever fascinated and frightened Arya. How could any creature survive without rest? More importantly, what did it mean for humans if they ever met these sleepless aliens? The thought gnawed at her mind. She knew the stakes were high. The crew was prepared for anything, but this was different. This time, they would face a challenge unlike any other. The bridge buzzed with quiet activity. Scientists studied screens filled with strange symbols and readings. Soldiers checked their gear, ready for possible conflict. Communication officers monitored messages from Earth and the nearby colonies. Each person understood the weight of their task: to learn about the Zorathians and find out why they never slept. Suddenly, the ship's sensors detected a pulse. It was faint, but steady. The signal came from the planet below, hidden in thick clouds that veiled the surface. The navigation officer, Lieutenant Raj, pointed to a glowing dot on the holographic map. "Captain, we have a contact. Something's moving there." Arya nodded. "Prepare to enter orbit. Keep all systems on alert. We don't know what awaits us." As the Endeavour descended, the planet's atmosphere swallowed the stars. The clouds broke to reveal a landscape of jagged mountains and vast deserts painted in red and orange. The air was thick with strange gases that shimmered under their lights. It was beautiful, but hostile. The crew gathered in the observation room to watch. Dr. Elena Marks, the chief xenobiologist, studied the readings carefully. Zorath's environment is extreme. High radiation, low oxygen. The aliens must be highly adapted to survive here. Arya looked at the images captured by the ship's drones. In the distance, she saw shapes moving quickly across the rocky ground. They appeared human-like but taller and thinner. Their skin glowed faintly with a blue hue. They never stopped moving, never paused to rest. It was clear. These beings were always alert. The first landing party assembled quickly. Arya led the team herself, along with Raj, Elena, and Sergeant Malik. Their suits protected them from the harsh atmosphere as they stepped onto the alien soil. The ground was warm and rough beneath their boots. The air smelled sharp and metallic. No sounds came from the surroundings except the wind and their own breathing. It felt eerily quiet. Then, from the shadows of a nearby ridge, figures emerged. The Zorathians. Their eyes were large and dark, reflecting light like glass. They watched the humans closely but made no aggressive moves. The aliens' faces were expressionless but intelligent. They moved with strange grace and speed, never blinking or showing signs of fatigue. Their silent presence unsettled the humans. Sergeant Malik whispered, "They don't look like they sleep." "How do they stay so calm, so sharp?" Elena replied. "Maybe their biology is very different. We must observe carefully." The team set up temporary camp near a rocky outcrop. Sensors recorded the alien activity continuously. Hours passed. The Zorathians never rested. They patrolled their territory in constant motion, eyes always scanning the horizon. Their vigilance was perfect, like machines programmed to detect any threat immediately. Suddenly, an alarm sounded. The team's scout drone had been spotted. The aliens moved fast, surrounding the device before it could send more information. The humans held their breath, fearing an attack. But the aliens only disabled the drone silently, showing no signs of anger or hostility. Arya lowered her weapon. "They are cautious, but not hostile. They want to understand us as much as we want to understand them." That night, the crew tried to rest. But the images of the sleepless aliens haunted them. Elena studied her notes. These creatures live without sleep, but that may come at a price. Endless alertness could lead to stress or weakness in other ways. Raj added, "Maybe they trade physical rest for mental sharpness. It is hard to imagine." Arya paced the camp. She thought about the possible dangers. If these aliens never sleep, They could outlast any opponent in battle. Their endurance might make them unstoppable. But then she remembered something. Humans had something these aliens lacked: creativity, empathy, and the ability to recover through rest. Those qualities had kept humanity alive through countless challenges. Could they be the key to surviving this new threat? The next day, the humans attempted peaceful communication. Using universal signals and holograms, they tried to show they came in peace. The aliens responded with curious gestures, but no words. It was clear their language was complex and unfamiliar. As the humans watched, one alien approached the camp slowly. It carried a small device glowing softly. The team held their breath. The alien placed the object on the ground and backed away. Elena, examine the device. This could be a gift or a message. We must decode it carefully. Hours turned into days. The humans continued their observations. They noticed something else. Though the aliens never closed their eyes or rested, their bodies showed signs of wear. Some had small marks, like cracks, on their skin. Their movements, while quick, sometimes flickered with hesitation. Elena hypothesized, the sleeplessness may give them strength in one way, but it might weaken them in another. We must find out more. Meanwhile, Arya received a sudden transmission from Earth. Captain, new orders have come. Intelligence warns of hostile alien fleets approaching. Your mission has changed. Prepare for defense. The news sent a chill through the crew. The peaceful exploration was over. The humans faced an enemy that never rested, and now a larger war loomed on the horizon. Arya looked at her team. We have only one chance. To survive, we must learn their secrets and find their weakness. The fate of humanity depends on it. As night fell over Zorath's red sands, the Endeavor's crew prepared for what lay ahead. The sleepless aliens were watching, and the humans were ready to fight back. Back on the Endeavor, the atmosphere was tense but focused. The team gathered in the research lab, where the ship's brightest minds worked together. Dr. Elena Marks led the effort to understand the mysterious energy that kept the Zorathians awake without pause. Around her, scientists analyzed data from the field and studied samples brought from the alien planet. Elena held a small device the aliens had left behind, a strange cube that pulsed faintly with light. It seemed to be a power source, or perhaps a communication tool. She carefully connected it to the lab's scanners, hoping for answers. The machine hummed softly, revealing a complex web of energy patterns unlike anything Earth technology had seen. Her assistant, Jamal, pointed to a readout. This energy is unlike normal electricity or magnetism. It looks like a biological force, some form of bioenergy. It may be what keeps the aliens' minds and bodies active all the time. Elena nodded slowly. If their entire system runs on this energy, then their sleeplessness is not just biology. It's technology. They have merged their bodies with a living power source. Captain Arya joined the group, watching the scans with interest. How dangerous is this energy? Could it harm humans? Jamal shook his head. So far, it seems stable, but it interacts with living tissue in unknown ways. We must be careful. As the team dug deeper, a troubling fact emerged. The sleepless energy was incredibly efficient at keeping the aliens alert, but it came with a cost. The alien physiology showed signs of strain. Small fractures and weak points appeared in their skin and muscles. Their endless wakefulness made their bodies brittle over time. Dr. Marks explained, the aliens sacrifice physical resilience for constant mental sharpness. Their endurance is a double-edged sword. Meanwhile, on the ship's command deck, Lieutenant Raj studied reports from reconnaissance drones sent to watch the Zorathian settlements. The drones had observed the aliens patrolling continuously, with no rest or break. The aliens' lives were a cycle of constant activity, their bodies never relaxing. Raj reported to Arya. Their sleeplessness means they are always on guard. Any human attempt to attack or sneak past would be extremely risky. Arya frowned. That means we cannot simply wait for them to tire. We need a new plan. The crew debated their options. Some argued for retreating and waiting for reinforcements. Others believed that understanding the alien bioenergy might give humans a chance to strike back. The decision fell to Arya. We will send a small team to infiltrate their society. We must learn more about their weaknesses and how they survive. Without sleep, she said firmly. Elena volunteered to join the mission, eager to see the aliens' world up close. Alongside her were Raj, Sergeant Malik, and 2 other skilled soldiers. They prepared advanced stealth suits designed to blend with the alien environment and mask their presence. Before departure, Elena shared her thoughts. The aliens' sleeplessness may be their greatest strength, but also their biggest weakness. If we can find the source of their bioenergy, we might be able to disrupt it. The infiltration team landed near one of the larger Zorathian cities, hidden in a valley surrounded by red cliffs. The city looked strange to human eyes. Tall towers made of a translucent material that glowed faintly under the planet's 2 suns. The streets were empty of noise but filled with swift movement. Zorathians passed by quickly, never stopping, eyes wide and alert. Elena marveled at the sight. They live in a constant state of alertness. Their world feels like it never sleeps. The team moved carefully through the city, using their stealth suits to avoid detection. They observed the aliens' behavior, noting the patterns of movement, and the silent signals passed between them. The aliens communicated without sound, using gestures and flashing colors from their skin. One night, while hiding in a shadowed alley, the team witnessed a curious scene. A group of younger aliens gathered near a glowing tree. They paused for a moment, their eyes flickering with strange colors. Elena noticed a flicker of hesitation on some faces, something almost like exhaustion. Raj whispered, "Even if they don't sleep, their bodies must feel tired in some way." The team's sensors detected unusual readings coming from beneath the city. Following the signals, they found a hidden chamber deep underground. Inside, a complex network of glowing tubes and organic machines pulsed with energy, the core of the alien bioenergy system. Elena's heart raced. This is it, the source that powers their sleeplessness. The chamber was both fascinating and terrifying. Strange plants grew along the walls, their roots wrapped around shimmering cables. The air was thick with an electric charge that made the skin tingle. The team collected samples and images, careful not to trigger any alarms. Suddenly, a soft vibration shook the chamber. The aliens had discovered their presence. The infiltration team barely escaped as alarms echoed through the tunnels. Outside, the city's defenses awakened. The Zorathians surged forward, relentless and fast. Their sleepless endurance allowed them to chase the humans without pause. The team raced through narrow streets and rocky paths, using every trick to evade capture. Despite their stealth tech, the aliens' constant vigilance made hiding difficult. The humans realized the danger of fighting a foe who never needed to rest. Back on the Endeavour, the ship's weapons systems powered up in response to the escalating conflict. Captain Arya coordinated with the infiltration team through encrypted channels, urging caution and quick decisions. "We must find a way to exploit their weakness. Their bodies may not withstand long battles," Arya reminded the crew as the pursuit intensified. Sergeant Malik noticed something unexpected. The aliens, though unyielding, showed small signs of slowing down in some areas. Their movements became less precise. Their skin showed more cracks. Malik reported, "The strain is growing. The bioenergy may keep them awake, but it cannot fully protect their bodies." Elena theorized, "If we can increase that strain, we might force the aliens to rest or weaken their defenses." The team agreed to focus on disrupting the energy network. They devised a plan to strike at the core beneath the city, hoping to break the aliens' endless watchfulness. Despite the danger, the infiltration team prepared to return and deliver a decisive blow. The battle for survival was just beginning, and the humans knew they had to act fast. In the quiet moments before the attack, Arya reflected on the coming fight. The sleepless aliens were formidable, but humanity's strength was deeper than physical endurance. Creativity, courage, and the will to survive had carried them through countless wars. The question remained, could humans outlast those who never slept? Or would the sleepless enemies finally wear down the spirit of humanity? Under the shroud of the alien city's glowing towers, the human infiltration team moved cautiously. Their stealth suits blended with the dim lights, masking their presence from the ever-watchful Zorathians. Captain Elena Marks led the group, her eyes scanning every shadow and movement. The deeper they went, the more they understood how different this world was, a place alive with constant motion and silent communication. The aliens never paused. Their lives were a relentless flow of activity. Even when gathered in groups, the Zorathians moved with swift purpose. Elena noticed how their skin pulsed softly, almost like it was breathing, though their faces remained unreadable. It was as if their bodies carried a secret tension beneath the surface. Elena whispered to her team, "They're awake all the time, but I see cracks in their focus. We must find what causes that." Sergeant Malik nodded. "Their strength is in constant motion, but constant motion wears down the body. If we can find a way to push them further, they might crack." The team's mission was clear. Learn the limits of the sleepless aliens and find a way to use that knowledge before their enemy struck with full force. To do so, they needed to observe closely, without being caught. Using their high-tech devices, the humans monitored the aliens' brainwaves and physical reactions. What they found surprised them. Despite their sleeplessness, the Zorathians' minds showed patterns of intense stress. It was like they were running on a treadmill set too fast, always alert but struggling to keep up. Dr. Marks pointed to a screen. Their bodies never rest, but their minds fight to stay calm. This tension might lead to errors we can exploit. As the team gathered more data, they also encountered the strange culture of these aliens. They communicated in bursts of color flashing across their skin and subtle changes in posture. These signals carried meaning, emotions, and warnings. The humans tried to interpret these without success, but the effort brought them closer to understanding the Zorathians. One evening, the team discovered a hidden chamber beneath the city. It was a quiet place where the aliens seemed to gather for what looked like meditation, or something similar. Elena felt a chill. If the aliens never slept, what was this ritual for? They observed silently. The Zorathians' glowing skin dimmed, slightly as they focused inward. Their movements slowed, though they never fully stopped. The humans realized this was a form of mental rest, a short break to relieve the pressure of endless alertness. Elena thought, this might be their true weakness. If they must pause even briefly, we can time our moves to catch them off guard. While exploring, the team encountered a young alien who showed unusual curiosity. Unlike the others, it lingered near the humans, observing them with wide eyes. Elena felt a strange connection, as if the alien understood the humans' plight. The alien reached out with a delicate hand, offering a small crystal. The gesture was simple but meaningful, a token of peace or trust. Elena accepted carefully, feeling the cool smoothness of the gift. Back on the ship, the crystal revealed secrets when analyzed. It was a storage device containing memories and knowledge. Slowly, the humans decrypted images of the alien past, a story of survival, sacrifice, and endless vigilance. The Zorathians were once a peaceful race. Long ago, an enemy attacked their homeworld, forcing them to develop the bioenergy system to stay awake and alert. This power saved them but trapped them in a cycle of sleeplessness, turning their lives into endless watchfulness. Elena shared this with her team. Their sleeplessness is both a shield and a prison. They fight to protect their world, but pay a heavy price. Meanwhile, the alien city's defenses were tightening. The discovery of the infiltration had not gone unnoticed. Patrols increased, and security measures grew harsher. The humans knew they had limited time. One night, while hiding near the city's core, the team heard a sudden alarm. Lights flashed red as the city's gates slammed shut. The Zorathians were closing in. Sergeant Malik checked their route. "We need to move fast. If we get trapped here, we're finished." The humans raced through labyrinthine tunnels, dodging alien patrols that moved with tireless precision. Their pursuers never showed signs of fatigue. The chase felt endless, testing the humans' stamina and nerves. Suddenly, they reached a cavern where the alien bioenergy core pulsed with an eerie glow. The air vibrated with power, thick and heavy. Elena stared at the source of the Zorathians' strength and vulnerability. The team planted charges to disrupt the energy flow. It was risky, but necessary. If the core failed, the aliens' endless vigilance would collapse, giving humanity a chance. As the timer counted down, alarms blared louder, Zorathian forces surrounded the cavern, closing in on the humans. Elena gripped her weapon tightly. The moment of truth had arrived. In the heat of battle, something unexpected happened. The young alien who had shown kindness appeared among the attackers. It hesitated, then moved to block the Zorathians' path, protecting the humans. Elena was stunned. "Why help us?" The alien's skin flashed gentle colors, a message of peace and hope. It seemed tired but determined to stop the endless war. With the distraction, the humans escaped as the charges detonated. The core erupted in light, sending waves of energy that disrupted the alien's bioenergy network. The once tireless Zorathians faltered, their skin cracking more, their movements slower. Back on the Endeavor, the crew watched the changes with hope. The sleepless aliens were weakening. Captain Arya spoke with quiet confidence. "We have learned their secret and found a way to fight. The battle ahead will be hard, but humanity's heart and mind give us strength." Elena smiled, exhausted but proud. "The aliens never slept, but we have something stronger, the courage to rest and rise again." The story of two races, one trapped in endless watchfulness, the other fueled by resilience and spirit, had only just begun. The explosion from the bioenergy core sent shockwaves through the alien city, shaking its towering structures and lighting the darkened skies. The Endeavor's sensors recorded bursts of instability rippling across the Zorathian power network. Captain Arya Collins watched closely, knowing the battle had entered a critical phase. Despite the damage, the Zorathians did not stop. Their bodies moved with tireless speed, their sharp eyes seeking out the humans with unmatched precision. Endless wakefulness gave them stamina no ordinary enemy could match. The city's defenses activated in full force, sending squads of aliens to hunt down the infiltration team. Sergeant Malik, leading the retreating group, urged his team forward. "Move fast. They never tire, so neither can we." The chase grew, brutal. Narrow alleys and crumbling walls offered little cover as the aliens closed in. The humans fought back with careful strategy, using every trick they had learned. Despite the odds, their teamwork began to turn the tide. Arya's voice crackled over the comms. "Hold your ground near the extraction point. Reinforcements are on the way." But the Zorathians' relentless pursuit wore on. Their constant movement allowed them to anticipate human maneuvers with frightening accuracy. Even the smallest mistake could mean capture or death. Elena Marks noticed something new amid the chaos. Some aliens moved more slowly, their once perfect coordination faltering. Cracks and discolorations appeared more visibly on their skin. The endless strain was taking its toll. "They're breaking," Elena said quietly. "The bioenergy system can't hold forever." Raj, focused on the skirmish, added, "We need to keep pushing them, force their limits." The battle raged in the twisting streets. Humans used hit-and-run tactics to strike and retreat. Their weapons disrupted alien formations and created confusion. The aliens, however, adapted quickly, learning from each encounter. Their sleepless nature let them analyze threats continuously, but at a growing personal cost. In the heart of the city, the alien leader, tall, imposing, and glowing, faintly watched the unfolding fight. He was the source of the bioenergy system's control, his presence linked to the network that powered his people's endless wakefulness. With a wave of his hand, he ordered a concentrated attack on the human forces. His skin shimmered as energy pulsed through him, strengthening the alien ranks. His mind was sharp, but even he showed signs of strain. Elena realized their true challenge lay here. If we can disrupt him, the whole system might collapse. The humans prepared for a final push. Armed with knowledge from their earlier mission, they designed a plan to isolate the leader and sever his connection to the bioenergy core. As the fighting reached the leader's tower, humans and aliens clashed fiercely. The humans' creativity shone as they used the environment to their advantage, setting traps and using cover in ways the predictable aliens could not anticipate. Sergeant Malik shouted, "Keep moving! Don't let them pin you down." Arya herself led the charge toward the tower's entrance. Her determination was clear. This battle was more than survival. It was a fight for humanity's future. Inside the tower, the leader awaited, surrounded by pulsating energy nodes. His large eyes narrowed as the humans approached. Despite his power, The weight of sleeplessness showed in the slight tremor of his hands. Elena and her team hacked into the energy nodes, aiming to disable the connection. Sparks flew as circuits overloaded. The leader roared, unleashing waves of bioenergy, but the humans pressed forward. Outside, the city trembled as the bioenergy network began to fail. The aliens staggered, confusion spreading among their ranks. Without constant energy, their bodies weakened rapidly. In the final moments, the leader's skin cracked visibly, his strength waning. With a cry, he collapsed, severing the link to the bioenergy core. The silence that followed was profound. The aliens slowed to a halt, their eyes finally closing for the first time in centuries. Rest overtook them like a gentle tide. Arya and her team caught their breath, exhausted but victorious. They had faced an enemy that never slept and found the way to survive. Elena observed the stillness. They paid a high price for their sleeplessness. Now they understand what rest means. Raj smiled faintly. And so do we. The humans began to secure the city, tending to their wounds and gathering the remaining aliens. The battle was over, but questions lingered. What future awaited a race trapped by its own strength? Could peace grow from this hard-won victory? Captain Arya looked to the horizon as the first stars appeared. "We've learned much," she said softly. "But this is only the beginning." The crew of the Endeavor prepared to rebuild trust, hoping to turn enemies into allies. The Zorathians, now able to rest, faced a new reality, one where sleep was no longer a weakness, but a chance to heal. In this strange world, two species had clashed and changed forever. The humans had shown that true power was not endless endurance, but balance, heart, and the wisdom to know when to rest. As peace settled over the red sands of Zorath, Captain Arya's final words echoed in the ship's halls. "Aliens don't sleep, but humans know when to wake up." The battle's harsh light faded, leaving the city bathed in the soft glow of alien suns. For the first time in many cycles, the Zorathians paused. Their bodies, once driven by endless energy, now craved the rest they had denied for centuries. Yet, as the humans watched, it became clear that this was not a simple victory. Something deeper stirred within both species. Captain Arya Collins stood atop the Endeavor, her gaze distant but steady. She reflected on the fierce fight and the strange strength the aliens had possessed. Endless vigilance had made the Zorathians a terrifying foe, but it had also trapped them in a prison of their own making. "We defeated their endless watchfulness," Arya said quietly to Elena, her chief scientist. "But what happens now? How do we help them heal?" Elena nodded thoughtfully. "Their minds are sharp, but their bodies have suffered. They lack what we take for granted: balance. Sleep is not just rest, it is renewal. We must teach them this." Below, the humans and aliens began to build tentative bridges. The Zorathians, once so silent and distant, now allowed themselves moments of stillness. Their glowing skin dimmed, softly, and their eyes closed with relief. It was a new experience for them, both strange and comforting. Among the humans, Sergeant Malik noticed how the aliens struggled to adjust. Movements once fluid grew slower, uncertain. The aliens' minds, so used to constant alertness, wrestled with unfamiliar calm. "It's like they're learning to live again," Malik observed. Raj, monitoring communication between the two groups, added, "They are fragile now, but there is hope. This pause might bring a new kind of strength." Elena worked closely with the aliens, helping them understand the rhythms of rest. She introduced simple exercises designed to ease tension and encourage relaxation. The aliens responded with slow gestures and subtle changes in their skins' glow, signaling tentative acceptance. Meanwhile, the humans adapted their own routines. The crew on the Endeavor remained vigilant, but a new respect grew for the delicate balance between action and rest. Arya believed that this lesson, hard-earned, through conflict, was one humanity could share. Yet not all was calm. Some Zorathians resisted the change. Their culture, forged in endless watchfulness, clung to old ways. They feared weakness and vulnerability, worried that rest might invite danger. One elder approached Arya, his voice rough but clear. "Sleep makes us weak." We have survived because we never close our eyes. Arya met his gaze steadily. Strength is not just in staying awake. It is in knowing when to rest and when to fight. Humans have faced darkness and fear but learned to find power in renewal. The elder considered her words. Slowly he nodded, a gesture of cautious understanding. Perhaps there is wisdom in balance. The fragile peace held, but the question of survival remained. Could the Zorathians embrace rest without losing their edge? Could humans and aliens find common ground beyond conflict? Elena proposed an experiment. She suggested they work together to develop a shared cycle of activity and rest, one that respected the aliens' unique biology, but introduced the benefits of balance. The experiment began in a quiet valley outside the city. Humans and Zorathians gathered, sharing stories and learning from each other. The aliens demonstrated their constant vigilance, while humans explained sleep's healing power. Together, they created a new rhythm. Periods of alertness were followed by intervals of rest, during which both species paused and reflected. The change was gradual, met with resistance and hope alike. One young alien, curious and open, embraced the new cycle fully. She became a symbol of transformation, showing others that strength and rest could coexist. Her skin glowed warmly as she relaxed, inspiring the hesitant. The humans, too, felt the change. The crew's moods lifted, creativity blossomed, and bonds grew stronger. Arya watched with pride as her team thrived alongside their alien neighbors. However, not all threats had vanished. Beyond Zorath, other alien factions watched the conflict with wary eyes. The humans' victory and alliance with the Zorathians sent ripples across the galaxy. Enemies prepared to challenge this new power. Arya understood the stakes. "Our unity is our strength," she said to her officers. "We must be ready to defend this fragile peace." The Zorathians began training with humans, combining their relentless endurance with human tactics and creativity. Joint patrols explored beyond the city limits, protecting their shared home. Despite their sleepless past, the aliens discovered a new respect for the cycles of life. Rest became a tool, not a weakness. Their bodies healed, and their minds found peace and balance. Elena reflected on the transformation. The alien race was trapped by their own power. Now, with rest, they have freedom. One evening, as twin moons rose over the horizon, Arya met with the young alien who had embraced change. They stood side by side, watching the stars flicker above. "You have taught us much," Arya said softly. "Humans have always known the value of balance. Now you do too." The alien smiled, her skin glowing with gentle light. "And you have shown us courage, not just in battle, but in change." Their partnership was a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of understanding and adaptation. Back on the Endeavor, the crew prepared for the next chapter. With knowledge gained and alliances formed, they looked toward the future with determination. The Tiao story of humans and sleepless aliens was no longer one of endless conflict, but of shared growth. Through courage and rest, both races found new strength. Captain Arya's final thoughts echoed in the ship's corridors. The greatest power lies not in endless vigilance, but in the wisdom to know when to rest and when to rise. The calm after the storm was fragile. The alliance between humans and Zorathians grew stronger by the day, but threats lurked beyond the horizon. Captain Arya Collins knew their victory was just the beginning of a much larger challenge. Dark fleets from distant stars prepared to test the newfound unity of the two races. On the Endeavor, the crew worked tirelessly. Scientists, soldiers, and diplomats united with a clear goal: to protect their home and forge a future together. Elena Marks studied alien technology, hoping to blend human ingenuity with Zorathian endurance. Raj coordinated defenses while Sergeant Mullick trained new recruits in combined tactics. Amidst the preparations, news arrived of an approaching enemy fleet. Their ships, vast and menacing, moved steadily toward Zorath's system. The invaders were known for cruelty and power, but they had never faced the combined might of humans and sleepless aliens before. Arya gathered her officers. This is our moment, she said firmly. We defend not just a planet, but a new hope. We fight together, as one. Plans unfolded quickly. The humans used their advanced technology to boost defenses, while the Zorathians relied on their tireless vigilance to monitor enemy movements. Communication between the races became seamless, a testament to their shared determination. As the enemy fleet neared, tension gripped the crew. Arya stood on the command deck, eyes fixed on the dark mass growing in space. The stars seemed to dim beneath the shadow of approaching warships. Suddenly, alarms blared. The enemy launched the first strike, fast, precise, and brutal. Plasma bolts tore through space, targeting key human and alien outposts. The defenders reacted instantly. Laser cannons flared, missile batteries roared to life. Ships darted through the chaos, weaving between blasts. The battle had begun. Elena monitored energy shields and weapon systems. Their firepower is intense, she reported. But our combined defenses hold. Raj directed fighter squadrons coordinating hit-and-run attacks. Keep them off balance. Use speed and surprise. The Zorathian warriors fought with endless energy. Their sleepless nature gave them unmatched endurance, allowing them to outlast even the most relentless enemy assaults. Their bodies moved, swiftly, guided by sharp instincts and fierce loyalty. Despite their strengths, the invaders adapted quickly. They targeted the Joint Command Center, seeking to break the Alliance's coordination. The Endeavor shook under repeated hits, but the crew remained resolute. Captain Arya barked orders, her voice steady despite the storm. "We will not fall. Hold the line." On the battlefield, Sergeant Malik led a team to defend a vital energy relay. Enemy forces swarmed, relentless and aggressive. Malik's soldiers fought fiercely, blending human tactics with Zorathian stamina. Amid the battle, Malik noticed something troubling. The enemy had deployed a new weapon, one designed to disrupt the bioenergy sustaining the aliens. It pulsed, with a strange frequency, causing some Zorathians to falter. "Fall back," Malik commanded. "We need to counter this." Elena worked quickly in the lab, analyzing the weapon's effects. "It interferes with their energy flow," she explained. "But it's unstable. If we can amplify its feedback, we might turn it against the enemy." The plan was risky. A small strike team, led by Raj and Elena, volunteered to infiltrate the enemy flagship and plant a device to overload the weapon. Their mission was perilous. The flagship was heavily guarded, its corridors filled with hostile soldiers and traps. Using stealth and skill, the team slipped past patrols, their every step measured and silent. Inside, they reached the weapon's core chamber. The strange device pulsed ominously, its energy humming through the walls. Raj set the overload device carefully, timing the countdown. Suddenly, alarms screamed. Enemy guards poured in, forcing the team into a desperate fight. Shots rang out, as Raj and Elena fought side by side. The tension was suffocating, but they pressed on, refusing to fail. With seconds left, the overload device activated. A wave of energy surged through the ship, disrupting the bioenergy disruptors and causing chaos among enemy ranks. The flagship shuddered, systems failing one by one. Outside, the enemy fleet faltered. Ships lost coordination, their attacks weakening. The tide of battle shifted. Back on the Endeavor, Captain Arya saw the change. "Now is our chance," she declared. "Launch a full assault." Fighter squadrons swarmed the disoriented enemy, striking with precision and power. Ground forces advanced, reclaiming lost territory. The invaders, once confident, were pushed back. The battle was fierce and costly, but humanity and the Zorathians stood united. Their strengths complemented each other, human creativity and strategy paired with alien endurance and alertness. As the enemy fleet retreated, silence returned to space. The defenders celebrated, but the cost was clear. Lives were lost, and the war was far from over. Captain Arya addressed her crew. "We have won this fight, but the galaxy is vast and full of dangers. Our alliance is our greatest weapon." Elena reflected on the journey. "The sleepless aliens taught us endurance, but humans taught them balance. Together, we are stronger than any force." Raj and Malik shared a quiet moment, knowing their bond had grown beyond soldiers to brothers in arms. Their unity symbolized the hope for peace. The story of two races, one who never slept and one who knew when to rest, had reached a new chapter. Their combined spirit and courage forged a path toward survival. As stars twinkled beyond the ship's windows, Captain Arya whispered, "We fight not just for today, but for all tomorrows." The Endeavor prepared to journey on, ready for whatever lay ahead. The battle was hard, but the human heart, combined with alien strength, was unstoppable. The battle had finally ended, but the echoes of conflict still hummed in the air. The stars above Zorath twinkled softly, as if celebrating the fragile peace that had been won. Captain Arya Collins stood quietly on the observation deck of the Endeavor, her eyes reflecting the calm beauty of the galaxy. This was more than a victory. It was a new beginning for both humans and Zorathians. Arya thought back on the long journey, the sleepless enemies, the fierce battles, and the lessons learned. The aliens had once seemed unstoppable, driven by endless vigilance. Yet, through courage and understanding, humans had shown them a different path: balance, rest, renewal. Below her, the Zorathian city breathed in peaceful rhythms. Aliens who had never known sleep now embraced rest. Their glowing skins softened, and their eyes closed gently for the first time in centuries. It was a sight of quiet triumph. Elena Marks joined Arya, holding a small device used to monitor the aliens' health. "They are healing," she said softly. "Their bodies and minds are adapting to rest. It is slow, but steady progress." Arya smiled. "They are discovering what it means to be alive beyond survival." Outside the city, humans and Zorathians worked side by side, rebuilding what war had broken. New homes rose, and green patches appeared where barren land had been. It was a shared effort, a symbol of hope forged from hardship. Sergeant Malik oversaw training sessions where humans taught Zorathians new tactics while learning the aliens' unique strengths. The two groups laughed and struggled together, forming bonds deeper than any alliance. Raj communicated with both sides, ensuring understanding and cooperation. He marveled at how far they had come. "We were strangers, then enemies, and now partners." The young alien who had once given a crystal to Elena walked beside the humans, her skin pulsing softly in colors that spoke of peace. She represented change, the possibility that even the hardest hearts could soften. Yet, beneath the surface, challenges remained. Some Zorathians clung to old fears, wary of change. Their culture had been shaped by sleepless vigilance for so long that rest felt like weakness. Arya knew patience was essential. She met with the elder who had once warned against sleep. Now, his eyes held new understanding. "You were right to teach us," he said. "Rest is not weakness, it is strength." Arya nodded. "It takes great courage to change. Together, we will build a future stronger than any war." The galaxy watched the transformation on Zorath with cautious hope. Word of the alliance spread, inspiring others to consider peace over conflict. Humans and aliens alike began to see that true power was not in endless fight, but in unity. On the Endeavor, Arya prepared a message to send across the stars. It was a call for peace, a promise that humanity would stand with those willing to seek understanding. The story of sleepless aliens who learned to rest would become a legend, a symbol of resilience and growth. Elena joined her, looking at the message's words. "This story shows that even the most rigid can change. Rest and strength can live together." Arya smiled. "And that is why humans endure. We know when to fight and when to heal." In the quiet moments, the captain reflected on the journey. Humans had faced an enemy who never slept, and learned that victory was not just survival, but transformation. They had discovered that the heart's true strength came from balance. Outside, a soft breeze stirred the red sands of Zorath. Aliens and humans alike felt the promise of a new day. Sergeant Malik watched children play in the streets. Both human and Zorathian, their laughter blending in the alien air. It was a sound of hope. Raj looked up at the sky, thinking of the challenges yet to come. But with unity and courage, he believed they could face anything. The young alien, glowing softly beside them, spoke in colors that meant friendship. Her journey mirrored that of her people, from endless watchfulness to peaceful rest. Arya turned to her crew and friends. This is our victory. Not just over enemies, but over fear and doubt. We have shown that understanding can change the course of history. The Endeavor prepared to depart, ready to carry their message to distant worlds. Humans and Zorathians had learned from each other, forging a bond that no enemy could break. As the ship lifted into the stars, Arya whispered one final truth. Aliens may not sleep, but humans know when to wake up, and that makes all the difference.